And I believe that would be the beginning of a new saga. I am Rasko of the Rasko and Disco Beer Show, Beer Review, and this is.
I'm Disco of Rasko and Disco Beer Review, coming at you live on the Rasko and Disco Beer Show on a Saturday night at 10 p.m.
Once we were on Instagram, and now we are here. We took a long break and to search out for new beer. I've been working on that
Hmm.
all week.
Well,
How was it?
well, let's be fair, Rasko. Until other people get here, it's not the first live we've done. We've done a few smatterings here and there of other things on YouTube.
Mm,
This
yeah.
is just sort of the first one. Maybe I come over properly from the Instagram live shows like we did at 10 p.m. on a Saturday night.
Indeed. I've even got my pre show cup of tea, which is turning out to be my show cup of tea, sticking with the
It is
tradition.
now.
Mm. Anyway,
I've been,
Disco, how
I've
have
been,
you been? And if anyone is watching or can be bothered to watch or anything, then please let us know in the comments if Disco sounds like he's in a cave or is that just my headphones?
Sure, we
I've
filled
been.
first one in. Luke's in. Greetings,
Hey,
gentlemen.
hey.
Good to see you. Welcome back, as it were. Welcome back.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I've been okay yet not okay, Rasko. I've a lot of things going on, occupying my time, and I've been a little bit off my beer recently. I think you might have noticed in the last 2 weeks, I've kind of left the YouTube videos to your good self, punching them out.
three
As
weeks. 3 weeks.
Well, 3 weeks probably it is exactly. Yeah, every time I sit down, I just sort of, I don't know, and I haven't fancied a beer a lot recently. I've got home and I just sort of sat here and gone, for a cup of tea. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, gentlemen, do tell me how do I sound because I think I sound all right. I was on the microphone. I've just turned the mic off, so maybe that was the problem. But if there's any rattles, hums, hisses, or echoes or reverberations, do let us know in the comments. That'd be lovely. But yeah, I haven't been drinking too much apart from a little session at Perivale last month, where I had half a dozen or so beers. Drinking here at home, I haven't really had more than a couple here and there, and haven't really managed to get much reviews out. So it's all about you for the beer stuff, Rasko. What have you been up to?
Well, as ever, it's always about me. What have I been up to, mate? What haven't I been up to?
Yes,
I'm
that's it.
virtually a beer celebrity these days.
Well, yeah. G'day,
You
son.
know, I've been on, the what was meant to be the last beer opinions podcast. I've been I've been hanging out with Johnny and Brad at the Craft Beer Channel, and I
Indeed, indeed.
was featured in their documentary, although silently. Um, um, I have, yeah. So I've been all over the place and all over Gaff. I've been in Bournemouth and been drinking beers. I've been to Harrods this week, and to meet my old supermodel friend Jack Guinness. Yes, I know supermodels.
Yeah, that's not who we thought you were going to say.
Yeah, and and as I got there a bit late. Well, I thought it was going to be late because Harrods is like a maze, and I was looking for this place, little event hall, and I'm dashing about, and the assistant helps me get there, and they say it's in here, it's about to start, and I'll dash in, and I miss the drinks table, and there's free champagne, and get this, Harrods Lager.
Howard's Lager. Okay.
Yes.
What's that? What lager was that rebadged from?
No idea because Tac Tac Toys. Hey, this is a guy who reviews 80s toys and stuff. He's quite nice guy. Known him for many years.
Yeah,
Um,
cheers. Yeah. Good stuff.
and this goes Mike sounds okay according to him.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, but so yeah, I don't know. Harrods apparently make their own lager. And when I was sat down at the event listening to my mate talk. And I look back and I think, I could go back and get a beer, but then I'll be that awkward guy who's dashing back to get a beer, and everyone's sat down perched. It's only a small room with like 30 people, and my mate's giving this presentation on men's grooming, and there was all these beauty experts for men, a hair cutter who styles like Hollywood superstars' hair, a man who knows about perfume for men, or aftershave commonly known, and another guy who does like aesthetics for your face.
Showing your age.
Yeah,
Go on. Yeah.
yeah, and so so there I am, and I missed the chance. So at the end of it, I go, "Hello, what was the beer?" Our highlight was meeting you as well, Bill. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so that's where I said, "Hello, that was a beer. What was it?" He said, "That was the Harrods beer." I said, "Can I get some?" He said, "Oh yes, if you go search here, go left, right, and all over the place." I get lost again, and I get into the drinks area.
Lost in Harrods.
Yeah, lost in Harrods, and
That's a
then
film title, isn't it?
yeah, and I go, "Hello, where is the Harrods lager?" And they said, "Oh hi, we don't actually work for Harrods. We only work for some whiskey company. We're not allowed to close this line. But if you ask someone around the corner, I'm sure they can know it." So I asked someone around the corner, and yeah, it's like I say, "Hello, can you have the Harrods lager?" I said, "Oh, we don't have that anymore." I just saw it. I just saw it. Said, and they were like, "Yeah, okay, we're not keeping it in stock then for customers. Keep checking the website and we'll get you some." So then I true off from Knightsbridge, and I think I should go home now. And I ended up walking in a very straight line, sort of, past Buckingham Palace, all the way to the Hart pub where I had a few beers. And was asked my advice from a craft beer freak who was entertaining their dad into craft beer. And he was all on about the hops and the fermentation. I'm saying, "Look, mate, it just tastes good, this beer." And he didn't know that Heineken had brought out completely Beavertown, which you did a review about recently, plug. And he didn't even know Robert Plant's son used to own Heineken. Not Heineken, Beavertown.
Beavertown, yeah. Yeah. Now owned by Heineken.
Yeah. And Dave
Well, Dave
Wilson's in the house. Hello.
Hey.
Pleasure to meet you and have a
Good
long
day,
chat
mate. Thanks.
about
Yeah, no,
beer.
thanks for popping in. Good stuff.
And so, yes, I did meet Phil. I did meet Dave Wilson. That's something that's happened to me over the holiday.
Yeah.
Meeting Phil. You know what? I'm going to burst the bubble on this. Phil is not as loud in person as he is on the internet.
I'm sure that depends how many beers he's had. Shark is in the house as well. Welcome, Kevin. Good to see you.
Shark.
Let's smoke the beer as well. Stick around to the end. I'll give you a little heads up on that. There might be some smoked beer occurring tonight.
Well,
if we get there. I tell you what, Rasko, talking about if we get to the beer, should we get the beers out open early? Because I'm drying up here. Do you want to do the first beer yet?
Yeah. Let's do the first beer. Well, I've got a selection of 4. I am not going to do 4. I am probably do 2.
Okay.
I have this. I picked this up in the Hope last year. This is Equilibrium, a barreled, fermented, blended saison by a brewery which I've never heard of, called Siren.
Lovely, excellent.
Yeah.
I think we've all heard Siren ring out.
Hang on, no, I can't have this. I've misread it and picked up the wrong beer. It's only 5.8%. That's out then.
Okay, well that makes your decision making a little bit easier, doesn't it?
Yes, and I was actually looking forward to it. Okay, I have to go for my unimaginative drink then. It's called Toast by Brew York.
Okay.
It's a pandan, coconut, and coffee, Kea Toast Imperial Milk Stout. No, pass on that. I have an 11% beer by Overtone, but I also have this bit of evil called Cannibalism.
Nice.
Yes, it's done by an American brewery. It's 12%. It's not 10%. Oops, sorry. It's a Russian Imperial Stout. I got this in the Golden Ark in Croydon, a not new, 3-year-old tap room bar place, which is Beat, if those know of it, Beat the Hope. Now, the Hope pub has won consecutive camera awards, but then got beat by this place. And that's no easy thing to do. And I've just realised I don't have my glass. Good evening, everyone. Hello.
Good evening, Adam there, Mersey Beers. I'm not going to talk about the Audi Dunkel. I've got that in the thing to do. I'll get around to it eventually. I'm not holding out much hope. But joining us with a 10% impy from Vault City and Emperor's Brewery next. I got an Emperor's Brewery can, Emperor's and Turning Point can in the stash hopefully getting around to that pretty soon if I can get back to making videos. Like I say, I've been a little bit off the pace with videos recently, but hopefully we'll get that one in soon. It's not quite 10%, so I didn't do it tonight. Phil says he's not loud. I am not loud. So I've missed a load of comments there. Apologies if I don't put your comments up on screen like everybody else does. We're going to be a little bit selective with comments, just getting some main talking points in. But everybody chat away in the comments to each other. That'd be excellent.
Yeah, if David Wilson agrees with me, he's more normal. Anyway,
Yeah.
So I actually wasn't going to have this. I was actually going to make a video of it, but seeing as I've messed up my beer selection, and well, maybe I'll talk about my feelings about Brew York in a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm adopting not so happy, happy, feely, touchy reviews. I feel there's something up with the arse there, but I'm not going to knock you. So cannibalism, it's done. Well, put it this way, it's in combination with a heavy metal band called Black Tongue, Cigar, Alec Badley, Black Malt Matric. I don't know what that means. I'm just brewed and canned by Adroit Theory Brewing Company in Virginia, in America.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard of Adroit Theory, but I've never seen anything of theirs over here. But
yeah, this cost me a few quid actually, and I've got to say I'm looking forward to it. So here we go. What do you got? Are you drinking even?
What am I got? Well, first off, I've got a pair of beers by the same brewery that I picked up from Trembling Madness this week. It's a little brewery called Torside. I've got an Imperial Brown. These are both exactly 10%. I kind of read the brief that you give me and took it a little bit too literally. So I was looking at beers with exactly 10%. What's the ABV on your one, Rasko?
12.
12. Okay, so I've got two beers at 10%. This one's a 10% brown ale, and this one's a 10% Rauchwein, a smoked barley wine. And I know you obviously did Anspach and Hobday's Rauchwein on a video this week. So that one's an Imperial version at 10%. I think I'll do that one at the end, just because obviously we know about smoked beers and how much they kind of take over the palate. I'm going to get straight in with the brown ale.
Good on you. It's not Anspach's Rauch wine, by the way. It's the Rauch beer. And it's it's one of my favorites of theirs. I was meant to do an online order for it, and I didn't complete it. But I now might do it because I noticed the porter is back in session. But then at the same time, I'm thinking, why? Woohoo, smoky boy. Hello, Sam.
No doubt somebody will correct me, but I'm still not sure about this between Rauch beer and Rauch wine. But do you remember we had Anspach's Rauch wine at Bromley? Was it Bromley? No, Bexley Heath Beer Festival, wasn't
it? There is a difference, apparently. I was actually, you know what? Here's another story. I met with Paul Hobday or Paul Anspach. Paul Hobday only a few weeks ago. I was at an event at Sydney.
Jack Hobday and Paul Anspach.
Jack Hobday and Paul Anspach. Yes, so I was meeting with Paul Anspach, man. I had a chat with him briefly over at Signal Brewery because they had an open day only 2 weeks ago. And yeah, I was having a nice little chinwag with him. And it was nice to see Signal being very busy and it's open day as such for Oktoberfest. And I met a new brewery called Blue Gun, who I had some of their low-calorie beer and thought, oh, it was actually quite tasty. And yeah, so yeah, I was having a chat with him. We were talking about beer and London Beer Alliance, and might get on to them a bit. But yes, I'm actually backtracking a bit because there's stuff in the conversation I don't really want to say.
Yeah, we'll come back to that later. Well, Luke John is joining us on a 10% for a 10% night. That's excellent stuff. Durham Cathedral Temptation 10% stout. Durham Brewery is another one up that way, up Luke's way. I've been meaning to get onto. They've got some amazing sounding bottles of beer coming out of Durham, and I've been meaning to get onto them at some point, and I will do at some point.
What's your beer like, mate?
Yeah, let's get into it. So, not too much on the aroma. There's some kind of fruitiness going on.
Same.
Not too much. Kind of a little bit of muted kind of maltiness. It's not too heavy on the aroma, to be fair. Cheers.
Cheers. Those who just saw my facial reaction, this has got one hell of a kick to it.
So is that, mate? Whoa.
Whoa.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so as Mersey points out, Torside's main output is kind of smoked beers. I'll come on to that in a little bit, but that one's got a kind of smoky edge to it. It's not like heavy on the smoke like a Rach wine or Rach beer, but there's a kind of sort of smoky, kind of nutty kind of edge to it. It literally tastes of brown. I say this a lot about beers. It tastes of colours, and that makes no sense. But do you know what I mean when they say it tastes of brown? It tastes of a brown ale. You've got that kind of nuttiness, maltiness, touch of biscuit, maybe. It's one I've got to get into, I think. It's kind of like, and there's a big sort of spirity edge to it without being kind of a barrel-aged spiritness on it. I don't think it's one I should be cramming into a show, to be fair. It's one you want to sort of sit fireside and sip gently, read a book and have a chat and all that kind of thing rather than necking it. But here we are. We've got a few beers to get through, so.
Well, as many as you please in the next hour and 10, 13 minutes.
Indeed. Tell me more about yours, Rasko.
This, mate, it's one of the booziest drinks I've ever had. And I'm only on sip number 3 or so. It even gives you regurgitation through the nose of how powerful the booze is. Oh, yeah. Mate, hands down. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not tasting anything after this. It's I can literally feel it burning through everything in a pleasant way.
Yeah. I've already forgotten. Do me the description again, Rasko. Let's see what we can find, like tastes and flavours or whatever on what it says.
Well, all I can feel is booze and burn. If I'm honest. And it gives you like a warning. It doesn't have any description of taste. There you go. It's just booze and burn, man, and it's nice. Don't get me wrong. That makes that. This is what you drink some whiskies and some spirits for. To be honest, I'm rather enjoying this in my GBBF glass, my new GBBF glass. I want to point that out.
Yeah, that's the one, Adam, the Palpatine. Get it before it goes. I don't think there's too many of them out there, but it does look good with old burnt nectarine and, what was it, peach and burnt nectarine and stuff. And I think there's some smoke in that as well, apparently.
Our friend, Matt Mackay, who works for 2 whiskey distilleries, he told me when you're drinking whiskey, you should hold it in your mouth and hold it just above your tongue a bit for a while. And that's what I've been doing with this. And yeah, it's taste buds gone. As you swallow it, I mean, it is literally burning its way down your tongue and your throat, and then you get that aftermath of booze. There's the booze. There's not much. So far, there's not much to it. That may change. It may die out and just become a lot sweeter drink as it goes down. That is my prediction. But it's even arguably more boozy than that Tartarus drink I had a couple of months ago in March time, where we were challenged to do a £15 bottle shop challenge, and I found the bottle for 15 quid and drank that.
Yeah.
In my local yarn craft.
Luke thinks she was mugged off royally for that, but
I certainly was not, mate. You should try it, and then you'll find out.
No, not by the beer, quality of the beer, by the price. But that's a different story. We don't mind about the price. Luke's on.
I moan about the price if it's crap.
Yeah. Luke sounds like he's on a proper decent beer as well. There, that 10% he's got.
this could do with some coffee enough, but that's not what this is not about.
Yeah.
I do apologise that I have completely messed up my drink collection today. I was meant to be 10%, and I've gone way over. I have been sick this week and not been able to do much, which has been
Okay.
fucking
Well, that's all
annoying.
right.
Yeah.
Mersey agrees with you about the whiskey drinking. He knows about a drop of whiskey or two.
Hey, I'll tell you what, mate. You should get involved with. Look up Matt Mackay and look at the breweries he's involved with. Not breweries, distilleries.
Distilleries, Bimber Whiskey and Dunfale.
Yeah, mate.
Here's two. Adam's right in the middle of both of those. One's in London, one's in Scotland. So it's worth looking at. A little bit of British whiskey.
Well, yes, British whiskey. Yeah.
So talking about, I'm getting a slight whiskey, kind of more bourbon-y edge rather than whiskey, and they're sort of. I'm getting bourbon biscuits again now. I always say a lot about, especially porters and brown ales. There's a big bourbon biscuit kind of certain amount of creaminess and like that kind of biscuity note going on. A lot more on the nuttiness now as well. Probably kind of hazelnut kind of notes. It's really drinkable though. Sometimes on brown ales, I always use the expression kind of a bit rough around the edges, that nuttiness and the biscuitiness. It's kind of a rough edge to it. That one is proper smooth and really, really nice. It's that kind of edge of smokiness as well.
Great.
As Adam pointed out, Torside is a brewery I've been on the hunt of for the last couple of years. I've seen them like on Twitter and Instagram, and I've never quite got around to getting their beers. I've mostly noticed them, like Adam says, most of their stuff is smoked beers. They do a thing every year, or they started doing a thing called Smoke Fest, where it's a beer festival of entirely smoky beers, which sounds phenomenal. They had a little bit of a problem this year. They kind of cancelled it because of the train strikes. They do it at the brewery. And they were doing it. They've got a box on there, like Smoke Fest from home, which again obviously will include the Rauch wine I've got later. It looks phenomenal. Their descriptors that they talk about the brewery are pretty good actually. It kind of fits really well with what you and me kind of like, to be fair. They've been going since 2015. It's three guys like just home brewers that are once usual story home brewers taking it to the next level, set up a little brewery. They're up in the Peak District in Derbyshire, almost not Derbyshire, just over the border from Manchester. In fact, they're a Stockport postcode. They say they have a love of smoked beer, imperial monsters, and well-balanced hop bombs. Now, I don't know what a well-balanced hop bomb is, but I like the attempt because I'm not a big fan of hop bombs, so it has to be balanced. We talk about balance a lot, so this brewery really fits in with what we talk about quite a lot. They also say interesting flavour experiments and style transgressions. Now, I like that idea, just taking a traditional style and messing about with it. I don't think they've messed about with a brown ale too much, apart from the imperial notes of it. Yeah, not quite Manchester, not quite. Yeah, it's kind of right on the border. It's right at the high peak, like on the peak. I've not been through that. I've been further up in the Peak District, and I've gone into Manchester a bit further north by Glossop. But this is a bit further. So a lovely part of the world, obviously. It's kind of on the railway line into Manchester, so it's fairly easy to get to. It's another one I've got to put on the list to check out, to be fair.
Yeah, it is. This sounds very familiar because the Beer O'Clock show has started its third incarnation called Belonging, and it's got the beer blogger from Huddersfield, Mark Johnson, involved. And he's a bit of a smoked beer connoisseur. And this sounds a lot like a festival he was attending and mentioned in the very first episode of Belonging. I'm going to re-listen to that and see it's possibly the same one. And I actually was about to start ordering beer from there, but then I checked my credit card balance, thought maybe not.
Always a problem.
Yeah, always a effing problem. You've met Mark Johnson a few times. Nice chap. Wow, he sounds it. So he was on Rhythm and Brews Blue podcast one Christmas, and they said he agreed with one of them, Luke, that 90s music is not the best music ever. But it's all full of covers. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Apart from that, I'm sure he's great, and he knows his stuff about beer.
Yeah.
I'd like to meet him one day, actually.
I mean, I don't disagree about some 90s music. It wasn't always the best, but there's a lot of modern stuff that I'm quite happy with, to be fair, but not your mainstream garbage. But no, mainstream music in the 90s was probably better, to be fair.
It was. It is. Yeah, mate. How many times I watched Top of the Pops replay in the 90s? Oh, mate, it's like I sometimes cry. I sometimes cry. And I found a song from 1998 which I'd never heard of, which has got Richard Ashcroft singing on for it, and it makes me want to cry.
Yeah, well, Richard Ashcroft will do that to you, mate, won't he? Don't listen to
Yes.
Richard Ashcroft; it just make you upset. Yeah, 2 smoked beers in a row, David. I don't know. I've never had 2 smoked beers in a row. I wonder, does that not just like it either overpowers the palate, or it just numbs the palate to the smoke, and you have to try and pick out any other flavors in smokiness. It's kind of a delicate thing, isn't it?
Ow.
Yeah, smoked beers, all about the Bamberg malts. Again, you did a video this week about smoked beers with the Schlenkerla, didn't you? From the Bamberg smoked malts. I'd love to go to Bamberg. I would. I don't know. Doing a day on smoked beers, it's not impossible because I've had 3. That's it. I've had 3 Schlenkerlas in a row because I did them last year around about this time. So I had the three different Schlenkerla beers. They're all smoked in various strengths. So yeah, I've had 3 smoked beers in a row. I think I did them all on Instagram rather than video, but you did it on video last week, so that's one to check out for smoked beers.
I think it is doable if they're made well, in all honesty, and these are really, really good ones that Anspach and Obday make. Smoke, they've got a certain thing for smoking. They follow the German way of doing it. Absolutely brilliant. And the Marzen by Schlinker is absolutely smack bang gorgeous, like barbecue almost. Barbecue in a bottle. Love it.
Good travel advice, Mersey. Yeah, I do want to go to Torside now, but it's a long, long list of places I actually want to go to. So, at some point in time.
Richard Ashcroft reminds me of being a student, not having a care in the world. Well, welcome to the world of Rasko and Disco, man.
I would have thought listening to Rasko. I would have thought listen to Rasko. I would have thought listening to Richard Ashcroft would have given you a lot of cares, mostly of the negative variety. And I had less cares as a student than I do now. So I'm not sure. I'm not a big fan of Richard Ashcroft generally.
No. Anyway, let's talk about me.
Yes, go on then. That's one of my favourite subjects, Rasko.
I'm sure it is, mate. I'm sure you've got a picture of me up there in the disco arms, haven't you?
Only on the computer.
Yes, indeed. So, some time ago, I went along to the Gladstone Arms, which is a nice find. I did a video on it, by the way, and I tried Now IPA, the craft beer channel's beer they brewed with Meantime, and I've got to say, Meantime have never really floated my boat a bit. This was nice. This was a very sharp IPA. Hop the hell, you'd hate it.
Yes,
and I quite like it. He said it was tropical and fruity. Personally, I didn't get any of that. Maybe because of the bitterness, they were thinking it was a sharp citrus, but no, I didn't get that. But I like it. It was very refreshing. I got interviewed. So Johnny Garrett, me and him get talking. I said, look, is this a traditional IPA? Because I believe Roger Proltz has already done that. He writes about it in his book, IPA. And he goes, no. And he goes, Brad, someone's already done this, but not made an old traditional. Like Roger Proltz made an old IPA flavor and put it in conditions that it would have gone through to get all the way to India. So Johnny's not done that, but we're speaking. And he said, this sounds great. We should be filming this. So that's a great conversation. And then he has a change of mind. He says, Brad, you better do this one because I'm doing the next few interviews. So Brad starts trying to interview me. And at the end of the day, I ended up interviewing him on his own show, asking him about the drink and what he's meant to be asking me. It was quite funny. And it got to the point when Brad's asking, he said, what flavors what hops do you get? I don't know. I don't know hops. I said, look, this is what I get. I get a really sharp, painful thing. I quite like that. Maybe I need therapy or something. Because that's why I drink. I like painful things like this thing. And it left the cameraman in hysterics. He's quite a nice bloke, actually. He's got his own YouTube channel. He does adventure travel. And yeah, so that's probably why I'm not in Now IPA documentary, only in the B-roll where you can see me wearing these glasses, looking gorgeous.
Yeah, we did see that.
You actually watched it?
I did actually watch most of it, yeah.
Oh, most of it. Did you see the bit where I'm in and then just switch off?
I did see the bit right at the very end, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it was gorgeous, yeah. So I had the leave because I had to go visit Dr. Kermode, and then I thought about going back afterwards, but then I didn't because the pub we were at wasn't too far away from Dr. Kermode. And so, yeah, that's one of my famous stories of the summer. What other funny things happened? Oh, me and Kent Beer Review saw Paul, what's his face, from Cloudwater. He came on the day after the I was going to call it a celeb event, but that's not right. The trade event. And I thought, why is he here? Oh, the day after the trade event, there's no one here to speak to. He says, well, it's probably because no one's speaking to him at the moment, which is bad.
Yeah. I'm sure he is. Well, people know him, don't they? It's Paul Jones, I think his name is. I can't remember now. Paul Jones. Yeah, no, Inspection Update, they're fairly London, but they are getting out and about, and obviously they are available direct. I think their web shop's pretty good. They've also, the best thing about, well, not the best thing, one of the things about Inspection Update, they've now started doing singles rather than, they were doing stuff only in 4-packs, so you had to order like quite a lot if you did it direct, but I prefer when breweries do singles. I know there's like a cost implication or whatever, but yeah, Inspection recently started doing singles, I believe, so.
Yeah, I recommend all of their beer, to be honest. Well, not all of it. There's one or two which I'm not enthusiastic about, but I wouldn't say it's bad.
No problem. Luke, cheers for dropping him. Yeah.
Where's Luke? Well, Luke's going away. Well, look, don't leave Luke. I'm dripping out as local. Oh, boxing. Come on.
Oh, well, fair enough. There's local interest and all that, isn't it? Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, no worries.
Get them watching us. There.
You
problem solved.
Listen, we're doing very well with 7 people in, or well, now Luke's dropped out, 6 people. And thank you, each and every one of you. If you could click like, I'm sure you all have, and I know you've all subscribed anyway. So happy days. Thanks very much. Thanks for joining us on a Saturday night, to be fair. Whoa, hold on a minute, Adam. Hold on a minute. You don't really like their can art. We're talking about Inspection Update, I believe.
What?
Their can art's fabulous. I mean, I don't know, maybe we're a little bit biased, Rasko, to be fair, because we like Inspection Update, but I mean,
well, I was actually going to save this tagline for another review. Well, I'll use it again. Why not? I don't think anyone does simple better than Anspatch Update, and I mean that because craft beer is a bit adventurous and it wants to be radical, and its flavors are like, hello, notice me, do you taste me? And Anspatch Update aren't like that. They're just like, yeah, this is us.
You're right. I think they do that mix of like in your face. I mean, obviously, I'm looking. I've moved my Inspection Update cans off though. I did have the Hefeweizen one on there because I think they do that kind of mix between, funky, colourful art and kind of designer stuff pretty well. It's a little bit muted. It's not like in your face, but I think it's kind of a little bit old school, but it's a little bit modern in the design. I do buy beer sometimes by can art. Not, I would say it's. I would never put it out there and say it's the best, but it is a really good idea. It's really noticeable. Like the brand is pretty there. So
Name them.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Name them.
There are much more simpler ones that are probably as good, but there are also much simpler ones that I don't think are as good. To be fair, I think we could have this discussion ad infinitum about what people prefer because it's down to the individual thing, isn't it? Really.
Yes, but I'd still like to have that discussion anyway.
Yeah,
But
that's another
so
show idea, I think, Rasko.
yep, okay, we'll do that one in December. No, name the breweries, mate. Because what I like about the Anspach can art is it's usually got something old and something new in it, and that's
That's
kind
it,
of what they
exactly.
are.
Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah,
like they do go back in time with their flavors instead of always looking for something new. This is the thing about craft beer, it's looking for something new, and it's always looking towards America for the answer. And I'm like, well, America's good, what it does, hello. Um, and, that's great. And it's all a bit hoppy, and that's great too. But it's like hop is not necessarily the answer to everything. So that's why one of the reasons I quite like them. They're old, British, and European.
yeah. There's definitely exactly. That's what I'm saying. I totally agree. Yeah, that'd be a very interesting discussion idea at some point. Different can art because do you know what I mean? I said before back in the day, like 2015, 2016, I was slagging off craft beer for all their can art and all their
Yeah.
funky designs and all the blah blah blah.
Mm.
Part of the reason I'd never really drunk a Beavertown beer until last month. Um, and yeah, but it's all so individualistic. It's like some art I think is brilliant, some isn't, and there's a whole lot in between.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
yeah,
The world is what it is, and cannot, some of it I will confess I have bought cans simply based on the can art. It catches my eye, so I buy it. And there's a few chrome. I'm quite attracted to chrome cans for some reason. Don't know why, but I am.
okay, here we go. So Adam's named them
Oh,
5, right? Yeah, okay. The Colonel, well, yeah.
who are
I'm
down the
not
road
sure.
from Anspach and Update, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Do you know what? I haven't really touched a Colonel beer in years because I almost think the Colonel were too bland. Undeniably great beer. I'm not talking about the beer. The beer is fantastic, undeniably. But I haven't really touched a Colonel because I think the beer labels are slightly too bland. But then I like a good beer name, and I like a good bit of can art. That's just down to me. But Colonel, I do like what Colonel do because they do it, keep it very simple, no messing about, just a plain brown label, and you get to read what the beer is, and that's fair
May
enough.
may I have to add something to that? Colonel, I'd think a bit similar because again they go back in time with their beer flavors. In terms of branding, even their tap room looks like one of their bottles. How they've labelled their tap room out in Bermondsey. Um,
Yeah,
it's I like the fact it's just so bland because it's simply we're Colonel, we do this.
yeah,
Long may that continue. I'm not
yeah,
sure how long it can continue in the location it is and with the business model they have.
yeah. I
So
don't disagree.
but the flavor of beer, and they recently did a couple months ago, about 6-7 months ago, they put some of their beer out on cask, and it was fecking amazing.
Hmm.
I mean, but you know what? I wouldn't say Colonel are better than Anspach Opday. I wouldn't say they're worse. I'd say they're going toe to toe with each other, to be honest. Although
I, I
Colonel
think,
have
I
been around
think,
longer.
I think the list that Adams put there is absolutely fair enough. They're all breweries that are fairly simple on the artwork, but I wouldn't say Anspach is simple on their artwork. It's quite detailed, quite intricate, but
Mm,
it's not like massively craft, like bright colors. It's like you say, it's like a very kind of old school kind of design, like stencil drawing, but it's got a modern twist to it. If you look in, you have to look at the design in kind of the pictures, but also they are quite clear. I like can art, but I like a clear beer name, beer style, ABV, and on the front of the can. And
mm.
Anspach probably don't quite hit that for me, but they do put the beer around the top. so it is fairly clear. All the breweries that Adam's named there are much more simple, with the possible exception of Black Lodge. Black Lodge have got some good designs on their can. I haven't had too many. I've had a couple, but it's not pictures and it's not bright colours, but it's fairly artistically designed artwork on there. Orbit, very simple, no messing about with Orbit, like block colours, beer name, brewery logo, blah blah blah. Tom's Tap House, I do know Tom's Tap House. They're in Crewe in Cheshire. I've had a couple of their beers. In fact, I had a couple of their beers at down the road here at Beer Asylum, but I've never bought from them. But I do know, again, their can is just a simple plain white, something off white. Again, beer name, brewery logo, and some very, very good beers from Tom's Tap House, some really good stouts and stuff I've seen. So that's a really that's quite an eclectic list, and they all are fairly simple artwork there, Adam. That's a good shout, to be fair.
I've got to be honest, I don't know who Black Lodge are, and I don't know Tom's Tap House. So fair enough, Adam. When you say simple, do you mean simple can art or simple taste? Because I think Anspatch are both, and Colonel are simply both simple in taste. And
like I say, with like with Colonel, separate the can art from the quality of the beer. It's two kind of different things. If you're going to have a big standout can art, you probably need to have decent beer in the can.
Maybe
it doesn't have to be can art. It's also pump clip or bottle art or whatever. But it's like what Adam says there. It's like Black Lodge, same design every time. They just change the colour of the can. I've forgotten about that, but it is.
That said, Brew by Numbers are pretty simple in their can art.
That's true. That's true because it's block colours and just number, beer, brewery. I like brewery name, logo, beer name, beer style, or maybe ABV on the front of the can. Even if it's something bright or something colourful, something artistic on the front.
It is, but you know what? I don't think Brew by Numbers are as simple with their beer flavours as say Anspatch and Colonel.
Well, because the numbers all relate to different beer styles, but I think what Brew by Numbers have forgotten about is the fact that as things change, you get a mix of styles, and the numbers you end up unless are there more than. Well, it depends how many numbers there. They only in two figures at the moment, and they sort of. It's not that they run out of numbers, but they kind of merge them a little bit. So.
Yeah, Adam also mentioned marble would be one of his favourite, one of his simple designs. I'll tell you what, I've never had marble on can. I've always had it on tap, so I can't say. There you go.
Marble. The problem I have with marble is the whole vertical versus horizontal debate. A bit like Brew York, and a bit like a couple of others, where a bit like Brass Castle as well, where they're kind of that way rather than that way, so you have to turn them around to read the beer name.
This beer is just getting harsher and harsher.
This one's getting sweeter, more spirity.
Really?
And the same amount of easy drinkiness from start to finish. We've been going over half hour on this beer, so we weren't going as quickly as we thought we might. But this one is eminently drinkable, as we can see by the difference in what we've got left in the glass. I'm going to finish this now. It's really nice. Really enjoyed that.
No, this is going to take a while to finish. I'm honest. It's actually
not quite a beer of the year nomination, but very tasty, really drinkable for a 10%. Lots of spirit. There's quite a bit of flavours going on.
Yeah, Brew by Numbers changed the style of the numbers. Yeah, but colour. Yeah, it's like grey or orange.
No, colour and style. Sometimes they're like really blocky. Sometimes they're a bit more easy to read.
But that's hardly a dramatic change. Come on.
No, but like that one, right? They're not all that same font. Right. That one's fairly easy to read. But again, you've got the number, you've got the beer brewery, and you've got the beer name down there. So it's fairly good.
Let us know what you think. It's all Adam speaking, and there's other people out there. Say hello. How are you? Let's get back to my show notes. Where are we? Oh, yes, we haven't praised QPR. Although they lost to a team you
Oh, really?
despise.
You want to talk about football? Do you today? You
Uh,
sure?
well, I will support my team, even though I'm pretty confident we will never play you again. This year
Next season, pal. Next season, pal. We're 4 points top of the league. 4 points
we're
clear
going.
top of the league. Won 4-1 today at MK Dons. You
Who?
lost
Who?
3-1 to Shittville today.
Yes, yes. Praise QPR.
So you actually want to talk about football now, do we?
Our streak has ended, but we will be magnanimous in defeat and glorious in victory and whatever. We will carry on until our legs burn out in February, and then maybe
Argyle are
we will
massive,
play
mate,
you.
everywhere we go.
Whatever, you're going down. You won't be able to hold it. You won't be able to hold it. By the way, those who know him, John from Lords has got a new YouTube channel, not about beer, it's about tech. He just started it today. Go check it out. If I knew a way to plug it in here in these comments, how do I do that? There you go. Dave Wilson. Rasko thinks you may need some cheese and biscuits to accompany. It does recommend it, actually. I should have some cheese and biscuits.
Yeah, fair play.
I don't have any cheese. I've got some crackers, but no cheese. And drain pour of Adele's Dungle. Good luck, Disco. Oh, dear.
The Audi Dunkel, yeah. I've got those 2 cans. I've got the Hellers as well. I got them in just because, actually, my Audi's pretty poor up the road, at the end of the road. I have to go to the bigger one down the road in Ruislip, but they don't really have a lot. But I saw them in there, so I thought I'd pick it up. No, I didn't. No, I got them from Ruislip. Yeah, I like a Dunkel, and it's got to be hard to mess up a Dunkel, drain pour and Dunkel.
Really?
Is that John's channel? That's the one
That
for John's
is. I
channel?
was meant to
Yeah,
type
fair
something.
play. Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting departure for John, to be fair. So see how that goes.
QPR could play Arsenal again. Yes. Cup games are possible. No.
It's the only way. It's the only way. Actually, I tell you what. To be fair, I did pop down the other day to watch Argyle Ladies because they played down the road at Wealdstone. I nipped in and nipped out briefly, and Argyle Ladies not doing quite so well as the men. So fair play. Craig, welcome along. Are you still in the Weatherspoons, or have you finished and given up and gone home, or are you still out and about?
Indeed, want your journey around Clapham.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been to places in Clapham I didn't know existed. Craig, you can't be late there.
I'm going to take the brown. I'm going to take the brown off the rack now. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I've got 2 Rasko. I don't really know. I'm going to save the rack wine for the end if I do the third one. I know you said you might only do 2, and we've been going 3/4 of an hour now. So I was going to do this one, right? I was going to do this one next. So let's take that off. It's a 10% again, exactly 10%. It's a medullally raised is what it's called. It's a bourbon barrel-aged cherry stout from Steamtown. Now, I really want to try this one. I've had it in the stash for 18 months. I bought it at the end of 2020 when Steamtown did a thing on Twitter with Craft Beer Hour on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And I've obviously drunk. I won some from Steamtown through Craft Beer Hour. And I bought this one. And I want to try it because it sounds amazing. But I did notice earlier, and I forgot about this. The best before is the 1st of October of 2030.
Oh,
so I don't know. I might be too old to drink it by then. So do I wait for a bit? I don't know. What am I going to do in another 8 years? Is it going to get any better in 8 years in the bottle? In my stash, it's kept cool in the stash. Do I drink it now because it sounds amazing? Or do I take a little sidetrack on a beer? There's actually only got a February of next year date on it. It's a Heather Honey Imperial Stout from Wild Weather. at 12%.
Flip a coin.
Could do. What does everybody else, the half a dozen people we've got still in, and thank you for popping in, by the way. What does anybody else reckon? Wild Weather or Steamtown for the next beer for me?
I'm just going to have a quick look for the other Siren beer I've got. Hang on.
If I didn't love you, Adam Mo, but you're Craig, you're totally right. I am too old now. I'm feeling it a little bit, but fair play, well observed. You're slightly younger than me, bastard. I think. Yeah, you are about a year or so, isn't it? Okay, well, whilst I make that decision, Adam says, "Oh wow, open the Vault City versus Emperor Impy Stout. If you love caramelized whiskey flavor, specifically peated whiskey, then this is what you want." Now, you see, I really thought Rasko would be getting onto the Emperor's Brewery because he's, a big fan of Star Trek. Sorry, he's not listening. He hasn't got his headphones in, so Star Wars. So I thought Rasko would be really into the Emperor's Brewery beers. And to be fair, each one of them I've seen come out have looked absolutely amazing. And if money was less of an object, I would be absolutely cracking onto Emperor's Brewery every kind of release. Like I say, I got the Turning Point one, but yeah, Rasko, Emperor's Brewery. I'm surprised you're not really more of a fanboy of them, to be honest.
Dude, I can hear every word you say, mate.
Oh, you can.
The Bluetooth headphones.
Just
right. This is the other Siren beer I was on about.
Oh, okay.
Maiden 2020 barrel-aged anniversary barley wine. It's 2 years old. No, sorry, I'm not drinking that. I'm going to age it for another 3 years.
Well, here we go. Marwood, thank you for chiming in. Marwood has made the decision. He says, crack on with the can. I assume he means me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put the bourbon barrel-aged cherry stout back in the stash for a while and get the 12% Heather Honey Imperial Stout out.
Oh, Craig seems to like something I was about to do. What, about aging it or?
No, the Maiden. I think he's saying get the Maiden on, to be honest. Sorry, Adam, decision already made. You had the Wild Weather, you'd go for the other one. I do like Wild Weather. I haven't been to them for a while, to be fair. They did bring out my beer of the year last year, if you remember, Rasko. The cake, what was it called? The dark cherry dark lager. Oh Jesus, I've even forgotten what it's called now. I'll come back to you in a minute with that one, but I'm going to get the 12% out, Rasko, because, obviously you've done a 12%, so I thought might as well.
Yeah, catch up.
There you go. It does look pretty good, to be fair. I think that looks all right. I wish I'd wiped the glass out.
This is just burn. This
You've got to force your way through it. Again, whilst we talk about can art, I do think Wild Weather have got some pretty decent can art. This is called Cephalopod, by the way. They very heavily feature kind of like mythical creatures, but I think this is more octopus, that kind of thing. But I do like Wild Weather's can art. Cake batter swing was my beer of the year last year from Wild Weather in Reading, based in Reading. We've had Wild Weather a few times at beer festivals, Rasko, mostly Ealing, I think.
Yes. Sorry, just cleaning my glass out.
That's the one, Sam. Yeah, Vault City up in Edinburgh. Mostly fruit sours. They do one or two others. They've done an Imperial Stout, I think.
Indeed. I don't know what it is about Reading, why it has quite a few breweries about it. It's good. That cannibalism I just drank is just pure cannibalistic pain in a delightful way. It's just nothing but burn from start to finish, and it just keeps burning you. If you like a whiskey or so or whatever, or a really boozy drink, go
Mhm.
for a cannibalism by what was it called? Detroit Theory Brewing Company. So look, what I'll have: Overtone, Big Joe, or Toast by Brew York. Nothing really imaginative. I'm tempted to go with the Overtone simply because I've got issues with Brew York. I don't have issues with Brew York, but I have things with Brew York.
Okay, well, I don't know. We maybe need to talk about your issues with Brew York, perhaps.
Should I drink the Brew York? Yes, I'll have to drink the Brew York while I talk about my issues with Brew York.
You see, Overtone. I've only had 2 Overtone beers. To be fair, I don't have any issues with Overtone. They're quite high ABV, quite hoppy, and quite expensive. Again, not complaining about the price. We know why the price is the price. But yeah, Overtone. So I was just doing the old Instagram pic there. I copied that off of Luke. He often breaks the stream to do an Instagram pic because I haven't done a lot of Instagram recently.
You haven't done a lot of anything.
Yeah, fair play. All right, all right. I know. What can you do? I'm a busy man. Do you like the Wide Weather in piece? I like all of Wide Weather beers that I've tried. To be fair, I had a few last year, not so many this year.
Okay, let's Brew York equal pale ale are shit. Dark beers are hit or miss. From Kent Beer Review.
Mm.
Okay, well, while I open this and talk about my issues with Brew York, is this.
I don't really like Brewdog's Collab Fest, so yeah. But actually, that blueberry milkshake IPA from Wild Weather that was pretty good. To be honest, I just ignored
Oh,
the whole beer
oh,
mungle business.
okay, let's just stop the fucking press here. Already, this looks like water.
We've had Overtone. Sam gets
This
Overtone in Australia. Awesome, man.
that's
Superb.
great. This looks like
Well, mate,
water. It's fizzing out like Coke. Um, all right, it's got a nice aroma to it, and I'm having struggling to get aromas for a moment. Oh, there's some taste there. Wow. Okay, what's it got going for this? Oh, I can taste a bit of coconut, and it's a bit sweet. It's got pandan, coconut, coffee, yeah, toast imperial milk stout. It's not that milky in the first little sip I've had. Okay, I'm going to backtrack on that. It is a bit milky. It's a bit sweet. It's a bit zigzaggedy in taste. On the second sip, I'm not going to judge it.
No, shop
Here's
stuff.
my
Miss
issue.
Jack.
Here's my issue with Brew York. It's not that they're bad. They're not a bad brewery, but they seem to get a lot more credit and seem to be a lot bigger from what I can make out. I think there are better breweries out there than Brew York. Brew York are good, but they have never knocked me sideways. And I'm never like, wow. I think it's good. It's heavily. Am I right in saying it's adjunct heavy? It kind of reminds me of Tiny Rebel in some ways. But yeah, there you
Not
go.
always, but some of them are. Right. So,
Oh, it's got a bit of a kick to this. Or is that left over from the other drink? I don't know.
again, not too much on the aroma of this one. I was expecting little aromas of honey, but cheers.
Salute. Yes. So
Whoa.
back to the show. A
Again.
bit of a kick.
Whoa.
Yeah. Talk about the next bit. That's what it says in the comment. And then you can do comments. You've frozen. Oh my God, you've frozen. So all the stick you gave me about Instagram and all this time.
We've done all right. We've done all right.
What?
I was going to say, well, I don't know, mine just cut out. So, like, I thought he meant all this time until we had a technical issue, but.
No. I was going to say, all those times on Instagram you saying, "Oh, you're frozen. You're going out." Now you know.
Well, Well, no, I think now. Well, anyway, yeah.
Mm.
Um, yeah,
Not a
as I
big.
was saying, this one's a big, definitely a big hero. It's really nice and like I wouldn't say syrupy, but it's definitely obviously really sweet with the honey. But it's just all kinds of smooth and sweet. And a lot of people don't like big sweet imperial stouts, but I don't mind it. I love a bit of sweetness.
Yes. This is sweet, but it's it's a bit sickly. To be honest. Streaming I can do right now and better than Scrammy. Yeah, they are better in Scrammy.
Fair
Anyway,
play.
stop talking. Disco. So, Disco, have you got any Beer of the Year nominations yet?
I have got some beer of the year nominations. I've got five, I think. I don't think this year I think I've had more of a problem this year. I've had less beer this year, but also I've had less beer that I've gone I really want to go back for. So once again, I'm putting beers on the list that I really want to go back for. So I've got five at the moment.
Yeah.
This one could make it, but it's just too spirity, too strong. It's easy enough drinking. It's quite smooth, but it's not going to go on the beer of the year list. Have you got beer of the year's nominations, Rasko?
What, one or two?
Are we going to do a show of it, or are we just going to say them now?
We're definitely not going to say them now.
Okay.
We might do a show of it, or it'll be released up on videos.
Yeah.
We'll do before the end of the year. We might be able to do a beer of the year so far. I think I haven't given this drink the credit it needs because it tastes a bit different in the can, and I should have washed it out proper.
Okay.
Oh man, yeah. I feel bad now.
Tell me what you
Shit.
got.
It is sweeter, but the sweetness is a bit more. Well, there's that word again. It's balanced. And you do get a bit of coconuts more in the background. The pandan's there, and hints of coffee are there. One thing I do back on the can art. Look, I will give Brew York their credit. Here's some credit for them. This kind of graphic about where's it going with the flavor and that I think is quite informing and quite educational. And I like it. There you go. Good thing about Brew York. That said, this is far from amazing. It is a good beer, and that's it. It's a good beer. It's not, like I said, Brew York are not a bad brewery. They're just good. They're really good.
Yeah,
Good.
I don't really get all the. It's not quite hate, but it's kind of indifference towards Brew York because they do get some excellent beers out. I think it's a little bit
Really?
covered
Name
by
one.
excellent beer names.
Name one. I can't name you one.
Karma Chameleon. Karma Chameleon was. I mean, I might be biased by the fact that I won 24 cans of Karma Chameleon, but I found it a very easy drinking session pale ale. It was nicely balanced. I quite enjoyed it. I would have if I was in the business of buying a 12 pack of pale ales. It's something I could just buy and drink without thinking about it. It was a decent beer. Um,
Right.
a lot of the other stuff I've had have been perfectly decent beers. There are some that were just kind of a bit average. But again, it's in cans. I haven't had it on tap for a long time.
Yeah, but
I think it's one
mate,
of those things that's better on tap than it is in can, maybe sometimes.
mate, I've had a few on theirs on tap, and
Yeah.
it's look. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad. It's just so middle of the road.
Well, this is the thing. Like, it's what David Wilson says here. Like, because they've got into the old supermarket thing, and they've expanded quite a lot. Have they kind of gone a bit hit and miss with the quality and just getting it into supermarkets? I don't know. But again, some of the stuff I've had from supermarkets has been perfectly acceptable. It's just not been amazing. It's not going to hit my beer of the year list apart from the beer names.
Yeah, but I'll say this. It's that I don't recall them ever being amazing, and it's not like they're a new kid on the block or anything. I've been keeping track of them for about 5 years now, and it's just that's good. Well done, well done, Brew York. That's good.
Mm.
Well done. Yep, good again. Oh, up, good. Yep, oh, good.
I tell you what, I forgot to check. There's one I've got in. I've got one I got in a stash called Reese's with a Spoon, which I think is a fantastic beer name. I forgot to check the
Yeah.
ABV on that one, otherwise I might have drunk that. To be fair, here's a great shout for you. Big Eagle. Wasn't too sure. Here's whoa. Go back to that one, Rasko. Look, my words. I've got a Sandbrook's barley wine from 2013. Do you know Sandbrook's again? Fantastic London brewery. Barley wine from 2013. That's going to age well, I think.
Well, will it? Because there's this thing saying it can't. It's just a bit of a hype to say it keeps aging after 5 years. Apparently, after 5 years, I'm not going to get much more out of it. I've
No,
still
fair
got
play.
my Fuller's Vintage Ale, 5-year-old, still aging on its sixth
Yeah.
year.
I was up the
And
hill
then,
today. I very nearly dropped into the castle because they've got vintage ale on this year's vintage ale on tap at the moment, and I looked at it and but there you go.
I like it.
Here's
Mr.
another
Kent Beer
one.
you
Oh,
is agreeing with me, and I like that. You come by the Croydon anytime, mate. I like that. You should be known as Sir Kent from now on. And you've frozen. Now I know how it feels like when you freeze out. So it's just me doing the show then. But yes, as I was saying, Sir Kent is doing brilliantly. And this goes frozen out. I'll continue drinking this lovely average beer. Not bad, not amazing, just average. It's a bit like, well, what I don't drink for, especially at 10% and what I paid for. But I got it from the Art and Craft, my local. Craig's been there. He knows what it's like. I've taken John from Lord's there. I've taken Paul from Paul's Beer Reviews there. That's about it. That's the only people I've taken there. And it's a great bar, and I walked in there. I spoke to Emily, the bar manager there, and who features in one of the videos that I did with Tartarus, and informed me that we have chairs. And that's what I can say. Who does Pales worse than Brew York? Brew York or Wonder Beers? I don't know. Let me know. I don't know Wonder. Or do I? Too many beers, too many breweries, not enough Rasko. Oh, I like this shot. You can see everything. Yeah. So, what are you drinking, fellas? Let me know. Let me know. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for showing us your support when we announced we would be returning for a live show. We will not be back next week because I'm busy. Hello.
hello. I'm on the other side now.
Indeed. Now you know how it feels.
Well, my I can identify mine. Mine is occasionally piss poor mobile internet. I mean, I do get a really good deal from O2, but occasionally it just drops out now and again.
I can identify the problem with Instagram. It's Instagram.
I think that was your internet.
No chance. It was Instagram.
Hey, why are we talking about Instagram? We're not on Instagram anymore. We're on YouTube now.
Shall I tell you why it's a no chance? I just have to prove a point. Because it's the same bloody internet as I'm doing now. You can drag Rasko back over the other side, by the way. What? No. I'm moving. I'm staying on this side. Oh, nice, David. Oh, everyone.
Like that?
What?
Like that, you mean?
Or like that.
Yeah. Or like that. The funny thing is, everybody else
like
probably
this.
doesn't realize. Yeah,
I
you like that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't mind. You can be star man. What everybody else probably doesn't realize is that we've both got control over the StreamYard because we're both signed in as in charge. So it's teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work, Rasko.
Yes, but when are you releasing a video by any chance?
Sometime next week, hopefully, I'll try and record one tomorrow. I've got a thing to get done by Monday, so
You know what? Speaking about the Instagram days, I did actually drink vintage ale, which I brought on Waitrose, and didn't buy two to age it. And if I had brought two, that would have been 2 years old. And I thought it was all right. I wasn't over the moon with it, as if I recall. I thought it was very nice. I'm glad I've got an older one, and at one point I will crack it open. Maybe even this Christmas, maybe even this New Year's, maybe even with a special friend. Hey, Craig, what are you up to anytime soon? Yeah. Who knows? Mersey has a vintage from 2019. Disco, right?
yeah.
How many beers you got in your stash? Because I think you should do disco stash night.
Well, the thing is, right? No, you at the last count, because I keep collecting them, and there's a few in there that like I've accidentally left and forgotten about, and there's loads I want to. It's probably near 100 because I keep buying more. I'm much better at buying beers than I am drinking beers and reviewing beers, so it's probably near 100. Um, some of them are out of date, so I'm not going to review them. I'm just going to get round to drinking them at some point. Some of
Mm-hmm.
them I think have got really interesting stories, so I want to do a video.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's the other thing with both of us on the channel. Like if we do both get videos out, there's going to be a lot of videos like per week. But I'm not as good as getting videos out as you. So yeah, it would be nice if I could just crash them all out, but it'll take me a month to do all of them because I don't really drink that much. Although I've got a lot of beers. Like if I'm drinking here, and they're all cans of bottles, so they're all here. I'm drinking like 2 or 3 a night, maybe 4, and it takes me too long to set up the video. I don't script it, but I do have a thing I want to say, so I can't do 3 videos. I can't do 3 reviews a night. I could drink 3, 4 beers a night, but I can't do 3 or 4 reviews. And then I worry too much about the edits. I do too much editing. I should maybe just put them out raw. I should maybe just do them live like Raggy does and just not worry about all the like niceties of it. You know, I mean, Raggy's like veteran of it now, so he just says what he says and gets on with it. But I worry too much about facts and whether I've got it right because somebody will say you've got that wrong, and I worry about it. So
I don't.
maybe I should just do a whole live series of just getting beers out. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you should just do some videos on disco stash, or your stash is just going to become a bunch of cans which are outdated.
Well, I
100,
tried to do it,
100
didn't I? I tried
beers.
to do it at Christmas. I thought that was going to be my little piece de resistance on Instagram, where I did that whole like advent calendar thing, where I tried to do a beer a day, and I got to about 16, and I just kind of run out of steam.
Here's a good one. I found a box of Beer 52 6 months old the other day. Didn't even know I had. Oh, Craig. What was in that box? Let us know. Here we go. More lives,
Well,
both Rasko and Disco
yeah,
review, please. Happy to be a fact checker for you. What? Well, okay,
yeah.
be a
I
fact
don't even
checker.
I don't even mind Adam fact checking because he does know his beers and everything, stuff like that. So
I don't care if I get it wrong. I don't claim to be encyclopedia of beer. I say what I feel.
yeah,
And
no, that's true. But I do like to be like at least, and we've been drinking long enough now, Rasco. We should know a bit about beer,
no,
or should we just enjoy the beers?
look, there's this thing, and I'm going to take this up with Jim, the cameraman. By the way, he owes me a 10% beer because he lost the bet with me, by the way. He is that I'm going to take him up with him. You may have drank a lot of beer and you may appreciate good taste. It doesn't mean you know anything about beer. And not
No,
knowing anything about beer is fine, providing you're curious and you're open minded to it. The thing, what I'm going to bring up the economic situation. What I'm really worried about the economic situation, because I read about beer history, is that with it, it might decrease the experimental side of beer. And we've appreciated a decade and a bit of beer really pushing the boundaries and doing whatever it can. And I want that to continue. But at the moment, week after week after week, we hear about breweries going under, and not necessarily like small breweries, some big players.
Yeah.
And look, so as beer lovers, not necessarily experts, just beer lovers, we got to help. We got to do our best. At the same time, don't bust your own budget. So be safe to yourself.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe.
In the Instagram days, there was Rasko ranting. Now it's Rasko's message of hope.
I've got plenty of rants to be getting on with, but yeah, no, we'll work out. Maybe I'll just get onto it again. I have a little bit of a what it was, Rasko. I just had a little bit of a timeout.
Timeout waffle. Oh, that sounds
Well,
great.
timeout from making beer videos, but now I've got a timeout wafer, so I'm just going to eat it because it goes pretty well with this beer, to be honest. Cheers.
Oh, really? I dare you to dunk it in your beer.
I'll tell you what, this would work even better. Remember Brad with their metric tonics bar, and he had a metric tonics. He was trying to suck the beer through the metric tonics.
Mm.
It works.
Really?
You can suck beer through a timeout.
Oh, excuse me.
Not a lot, but it does work. That's what happens on sub 10% beer night. You start doing silly things like sucking beer through a timeout.
Indeed.
It makes it quite a soggy wafer.
I'm still waiting. Right. Okay. What was I going to say? Where's the show notes? Where are we? Okay. We have got 13 minutes left of this.
Have we? I've still got 2 beers to drink.
Down in one.
No, I haven't. I've still got I've still got that beer, and if I get onto the rack wine, I get onto the rack wine. Oh, here's one. I think you mean blue ribbon. Ah, blue ribbon, didn't piece out. Yeah, he means blue ribbon. Blue ribbon. Ribbon. Wasn't there a D on it? I'm fact checking a fact checker. It was definitely blue ribbon.
Indeed.
Oh, it was blue ribbon. Yeah.
Oh. You know what I really find quite annoying? When every time I meet Johnny Garrett, he gets me and you mixed up.
They look at him named every time I meet Johnny Garrett like it's a weekly occurrence.
Well, I've met him twice a month for the past.
You have met him quite a lot, but Brad knows. Brad gets it right, surely.
Yeah, he does.
Johnny Garrett calls you Disco.
Yes. He says, "Are you Rasko or you Disco?" I'm like, it's. And I just ended up calling him Brad, actually. Yeah. So I don't think he'll forget the next time. Yeah. Correct. So, yes. We've done QPR worship. How long may I continue? Vintage ale, yeah, we spoke about. That wasn't even notes. What is your beer like? Tell me, what are your notes you're getting from it? You're halfway through it. Is it nice?
What I'm getting is a solid 12% imperial stout. I'm not quite getting. It's really smooth, or it was to start with. It's getting a little bit rougher now around the edges, but not quite enough honey in it for me. Heather honey is. I don't know too much about it, but I think it's kind of a lighter kind of honey, more floral. Don't get a lot of floral in this. I don't get a lot of honey sweet notes. There's a lot of malt sweetness. It's very drinkable. It's a good Saturday night beer for a 12%. You know what I mean? It does the job. But Liverpool, have they still got a football team? Oh, that's good. I'm glad they're still going. Bless them. Um, I say that every time. It's not good. Yeah, no, it's a really nice, like, heavy imperial stout. It's going to get a bit heavier down the bottom there, and it's going to get a bit harder a slog, like your 12%. I got another 12% in this week from my Trembling Madness order, and I wasn't going to put it on tonight because I was mostly on darker beers. But it's a German beer, and it's an Eisbock.
Yeah.
And I've got to research. I don't know too much about Icebox, but they're like freeze distilled, not distilled, freeze. They freeze it, take some of the water out, and then get a bit more alcohol in it. So it looks really, really. It's some from Schneiderweiss in Germany. I didn't put it on the possibility for tonight. Oh no, I snuck this 12% in because I was looking at 10%. But that seems a really interesting beer. I want to see what that's like cold.
Indeed.
On a video, so I'll try and do that maybe next week.
Mate. Do it. Adam, yeah, I agree. You're going to lose badly. How badly? I don't know. And that's that. So
I know they play.
No, I do. I just looked it up.
Oh dear.
This beer, it's kept becoming more pleasant, but it's something at the same time. A bit push.
Oh, they're playing Man City, are they? I've just seen Sam's comment. That'll be why, right? So they're playing Man City. Do you know who has got a better? There's one person, although probably not after tomorrow, has got a better game to goal ratio than Haaland.
True.
It's Sam Cosgrove of Plymouth Argyle. He's got like a
tumbleweed.
He's played like half as many minutes as Haaland, but he's like he scored like 2 goals on his debut, and then he scored a goal every game he's played. He didn't score today, but he did play 20 minutes. But yeah, good old Cozzy.
Tumbleweed.
Argyle are massive everywhere we go. You wanted to talk about QPR and Argyle, mate.
Well, I believe in the show notes we were going to praise our love for QPR.
Well, your love for QPR, I have a sort of love-hate relationship with QPR.
Oh yeah, well, love is love. Love
as an Argyle fan, I mean, we did beat you and go up as champions that year, but whatever.
Yeah. When was that?
2003.
Oh right, 20 years ago. Oh no, 19 years ago. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but we've still won more championships than QPR have in that 20 years. So what have QPR won in 20 years?
Well, we've gone to the Premier League. Well, have you? Twice.
No, but we are the biggest team not to get to the Premier League yet. Here's one I want to talk about with QPR, to be fair. Do you watch on YouTube a channel called Asheville Aggregates?
No.
Should, man. They're QPR shirt sponsors last season, and they do a lot of sponsorship with QPR, like do a lot of the building work there. They're a construction company called Asheville Aggregates, and their owner, Daniel, does some really good videos on a Sunday, like a weekly, like not podcast style, but like a vlog of all his construction activities and lorries. And they got a yard in West Drayton, and they get trainloads of aggregates in. Some really good vlog style videos. I don't know if you like that kind of thing, construction, trains, engineering, that kind of thing. And last month, he built a boat out of a skip and sailed it out of Dover Hopper. He's got all this like welding and engineering stuff on site, so he got a 12-yard skip and attached a load of buoyancy to it and put an engine on it and like engineered it. Fucking fantastic! Really, really top bloke.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Sponsors QPR.
That's good. Well, good.
Not the country boy supporting QPR. You know what QPR stands for, Sam? Quarter pound of rubbish.
Park.
It's the old
Rangers.
London joke, isn't it?
Queen's Park Rangers, you know.
£250
You know what
rubbish.
Plymouth Argyle stands for?
Stands for fucking top of the league, mate, at the moment.
It stands for who?
Argyle are massive everywhere we go. Argyle are massive everywhere we go. Listen, mate, there'll be people in
Accept the
Australia.
championship because you
Mate,
never
I'll
get
tell you
there.
what, Sam will start spotting
And
Argyle
then
fans
the
in
Premier
Australia now.
League because you never
Mate,
get in.
all over the world, mate. Argyle are massive.
Or except the Premier League and the championship because you never get in.
We're just not there yet, mate. Give it a couple of years.
I'll take you a bet now, right? I'll bet you, right? You don't get promoted.
Well, this season,
Yeah.
it is an outside chance. There is a very good possibility. I mean, we are 13 points. Well, we're 13 points clear of getting nothing, and we're something like 9 points clear of the team in third place. So I think Portsmouth have got 3 games in hand on us. So if they win those 3 games, they won't go above us. I take a better bet of who gets into the Premier League first, QPR or Argyle. I think Argyle have got a better chance of getting in the Prem than QPR at the minute.
All right, I'll be honest with you. No chance for either.
Oh, ever the pragmatist, Rasko. I think Argyle are getting in the Premier League before QPR.
Right,
If all goes well, if all goes to plan.
I'll tell you why. QPR will burn out in around about February time.
Yeah.
They will not. They don't have what it takes to recover from games and play at that pace for that amount of time.
Yeah. Well, possibly same as Argyle.
Argyle, look, I'd say there's a 30% chance at this time that you will get promoted. That will increase over time, but come February, we shall see. I don't think QPR will. Maybe we might make the playoffs. I can't see us. But then again, look, Watford are in disarray. I would have thought Watford would be going straight up. They're not. They're in absolute disarray. So we'll see. That's created a small gap in the window of opportunity.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Let's see. I think Argyle are more likely to get to the Prem than QPR at the moment. I'll take that bet.
I'll take that bet. There you go.
Okay.
What are you betting me?
Well, as Sam says, it'll take us 50 years to pay it out, let alone 50 years after our deaths. But yeah. There's no point. There's no point agreeing a price on that because Well, I don't know. You think? I mean, what? I don't know. I've not even looked where your league position is. To be fair, so I don't know.
Whoa! What happened?
You do love a good outside bet, don't you, Rasko?
I do. Well, have you not checked that position? Let me just confirm it to you. Well, although we lost today to...
You did. You lost to Shittville. That is terrible, losing to Shittville. That's the worst of the worst. Sorry to any Shittville fans that are not watching, but, you know.
Well, yes, I'm glad you said it. You don't want to offend any. We've now moved down to 4th.
4th? Oh, okay. I didn't even realise you were that high. That's fucking West London nosebleed, isn't it?
Well,
I ain't having grandchildren, I know grandchildren, so that won't happen, Sam, but fair point.
Put it this way. Burnley have got 25 points. They're first. Sheffield Wednesday are at 25th, have got 25 points. They're second.
Sheffield Wednesday are in our league, you dickhead. We beat them.
Sheffield United, sorry.
They all don't get them mixed up. They don't like that in fucking Yorkshire, mate.
Oh, God, they're sorry. Well, Norwich...
Look at Geordie rocking up. We're slagging each other off and Geordie's rocking up with a positive. Cheers, Geordie. Yeah, good man yourself.
Norwich, 24 points. QPR, 24 points. Blackburn at 5th at 24 points. Reading at 6th at 22 points. look, mate.
Who knows?
It just if we won that game today, we would have been well ahead, but
Yeah.
we didn't. So therefore, look, I still
Still,
predict we're going to burn out come February.
yeah.
I'm hoping Watford don't. In fact, I'm hoping Watford get demoted. Um,
Well, I'll see you at Loftus Road or Shepherd's Bush sometime next season, then, Rasko.
um, you won't because you're going to collapse. On that note, it is an hour and a half. Do you want to continue for a little bit longer?
Well, I've still got a little bit of beer. I don't think I'm going to get onto the rack wine, but I can save that for another time or whatever. It's all good.
Yeah, I must admit, I don't know. It's probably the fact I didn't clean that glass out properly. This has been perfectly average. What a surprise, Brew York. Well done. Your consistency on good is astounding to me.
This one has been it's 12%. It's been perfectly heavy, but it's been sweet enough. Not too much honey for me. I think I wanted more honey flavour on it, but it's a perfectly decent imperial stout at 12%. It's actually really still drinkable. There's a heavy spirity edge to it. Look at the legs on the glass there. Do you know what I mean? It really sticks. It's quite sticky in the taste as well, but not quite honey enough for the flavours. But really nicely drinkable for me. I'm quite enjoying it. To be fair.
Oh my God. I'm washing out this glass and you can see some of the water in it. It's got kind of a hint of kind of a red wine-ish, reddish look to it. This is amazing.
Yeah.
That's the level of content we're drinking today, people. Brilliant bit of water wine. All right. Okay. So I'd like to thank everyone who gave us a bit of support.
Yeah.
On Instagram when we said we'd be back. We won't be back every week, but we will be back. That's mostly because I'm busy for the next 3 weeks. And if the plans change, you'll see us soon. We'll let you know on all forms of social media.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming in, joining in the comments. There will be more. Shows will be even more chaotic and even more gossipy, maybe. I don't know.
We shall see. Yeah.
We shall see. I am going to leave the old Joe, the big Joe, for now, and the maiden for another time. It has been wonderful chatting to you all. It has been fantastic. Stay safe, be happy, and yeah.
Enjoy the beers.
Enjoy the beers.
And believe enough to lose control.
He said it. Bye,
Thanks to everybody
everyone.
in the comments. Cheers all. Enjoy the beers. Have a good weekend. See you next time.
Oh, good to see you back. Hey. Thank you, Craig. Hope to see you soon.